How's it going, Internet fam? I'm here with the team from Neutron Coin, Masternode Coin today. I've got a lot of questions for them, and they've got a lot of knowledge and experience in this field, so I'm going to be very interested to hear what they have to say about the overall market, Masternode coins in particular, and the future of where their project is heading specifically and what they're going to be up to. So you guys want to introduce yourself one at a time? Let's go left to right. Jason, let's go with you first.
I'm the Peister with Neutron Coin. I've been in the crypto space since about 2012. So done everything from mining to obviously working here with Neutron and just some other side projects as well.
Okay. And Rick, you want to holler at us from Montreal?
Yeah, I'm in Montreal. I'm part of Neutron. I'm been with the team for over a year, something like that, and I'm here to answer all the questions that you have for us.
Okay, great. And Thomas, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name's Audio Topics. I took over Neutron Coin in 2015. I started in cryptocurrency and mining in 2012. Mined hardware-based for 5 years, only until recently did I stop. And just kind of shored up in all my staking coins and things that I hold.
Okay, and so I had a question for you guys. Actually, let me show that great promo video that you sent over earlier, because I really like that with the explosion and the neutron in the background and the galaxy. You guys,
Rick makes those.
You guys aren't going to be able to see that, but I just thought it was really good, really good.
That's cool, man. Go for it.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of video. It's short too, short and to the point. So that's what we're here talking about today is Neutron Coin. All right, and so you mentioned that you took over in 2015. One of the things that interests me about Neutron specifically is it's been around for a while. It's one of the older Masternode coins. So can you run me down a little bit of that history?
Well, back when Neutron launched, I had 56 terahash of SHA-256 mining power. And I started mining it. It was only mineable for a week. And with that amount of hashing power, I was able to collect quite a bit of it. And I threw it in a wallet and I just let it stake. Now, being a miner, the thing that I really enjoyed about it was that I felt like I was mining with expensive hardware or burned a ton of electricity. I just kind of let it stake and I ignored it for a long time. It was just running in my tray on my PC, and like 6 months later, I just happened to look at it, and I was like, whoa, I haven't kept up with the news of that for a while. I'm going to go check that out. So I went to the Bitcoin talk and realized that the coin had pretty much been abandoned because of cheating that was going on in the network, and apparently the devs couldn't fix it. They just kind of gave up, abandoned it, and ran. What was going on is that people were able to ignore the Masternode rules, and they were able to pay their own masternodes. So what eventually started happening is that no masternodes were being paid at all, and it was completely unfair, and it was all messed up. So what I did, I went to Bittrex at that point, and I saw that Neutron was only 40 Satoshi, and at the time, I think Bitcoin was only 180 bucks or something, you know. So I liked it so much, and at the time I had the money to throw around and experiment with, and I liked how it staked. And when I did the math, I liked the coin cap. It was a little more realistic than other coins where they have hundreds of thousands of millions of coins. You know, the count is just way too high, like, you know, Ripple or Dogecoin or any of that. To me, Neutron felt more like, you know, if Litecoin were a staking coin, you know, it felt a little more neat. And the other thing I like is that when it halves, it does it dynamically over time instead of all at once at a certain block point. So I started thinking, well, what can I do with this for the fun of it, and create a neat project for myself and get involved with coin development and really try to learn how to do this. And, you know, so I bought a couple million Neutron on Bittrex, and then I started staking it. And that was fun too, because like back in the day, I used to like to take a ton of hash power and throw it on a network just to slam it, just to see, you know, just for the fun of it, you know. And, you know, that many people running around different SHA-256 networks, pounding them with 56 terahash. So it was the same thing for me in staking. It was like, wow, this is really neat. I feel like I'm mining, but I'm not having to go fix hardware or make any adjustments or clean out fans or, any of that stuff.
Or pay electricity. Pay electricity is a big one.
Paying the electricity, all that stuff. And then I was like, man, there's really something to this. And, at the time, I didn't even know what Masternode Tech was. I mean, it was like a new thing. And
so let's unpack that a little bit. So I believe the first Masternode coin was Chaincoin, right?
I'm wanting to say it was Dash.
No, I think Dash is a fork of Chaincoin.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. And
No, Dash is the first one.
Dash was the first one? I thought Chaincoin was the first one.
Pretty sure Dash was the original Masternode coin because all the Masternode coins have some code of Dash in them.
Well, Dash is definitely the big granddaddy now at this point. I mean, it's
for sure. But their Masternodes also cost a gajillion dollars, and they don't really bring in much.
Yeah, the ROI is so low on Dash. I mean, you could sell your house, buy a Dash Masternode, and live comfortably, but the ROI is so low. I think you'd definitely be better off buying a bunch of other Masternode coins instead.
Yeah, for sure. And Jason, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
I was saying, if you got into Dash when it first came out, you hit the gold mine.
Oh yeah, Darkcoin used to be like, it was pennies. I kicked myself in the butt for not having bought a bunch of that long ago.
There's a million coulda, shoulda, wouldas in the crypto market for sure. What I've got like 20 stories. At one point I had 11 million stellar lumens, and I thought I was a genius for selling them at $900 after buying them for $100 or something. But
yeah, we at one point I had 500,000 Ripple.
Yeah. So, but let's get back to Neutron a little bit. So you kind of took over the Neutron project in 2015. Now, at that point, was it already an educational platform, or what was it doing at that point?
Well, at that point, I was, the education thing was not something that on my radar at all. I mean, all I cared about was the benefits of the low carbon footprint, not having to run a garage full of miners with custom cooling and all that stuff. And I enjoyed that, and that's all I ever enjoyed. And I never thought that Neutron needed to be anything more than what it was, which is a digital piggy bank. In times of a down market, with the exception of what's going on now in the crypto sphere, instead of people trading, they could buy Neutron, put it in a wallet and such instead of having to do all that other stuff. And then ideally, as long as the price is similar to what they bought it at, they would profit on their stakes. Now, obviously, we swelled to $1, and now we're back down to just over a penny. That really sucked. But that also had a lot to do with everything that happened in crypto over this past year, Bitcoin's rise and Bitcoin's fall. But now at a penny, it's kind of back to what I originally saw it as, which is a digital piggy bank. I don't think anyone that buys it today at 2 cents, 3 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents is really going to lose out the way some of us may have when it was $1, which is not something I ever really intended to happen. It just kind of did.
Well, the reality is, anybody who bought anything in December or January
bought at the top.
They lost their shirt. It doesn't matter which crypto they bought. They
lost.
The entire market, just went crazy. So I don't want to focus on that as much. I'm more interested in some of the specifics about Neutron. So, but now Neutron is kind of has to do with an educational platform, and I'm just curious about the educational platform in general, because I think for me, I see the potential to revolutionize education globally. As the premier blockchain thing, there's a lot of things. I come from an educational background. I used to be the IT director for 13 school districts. So I was managing, software and apps for all these different schools and libraries and stuff. And almost everything would benefit from being on the blockchain. And also looking at the insane price of tuition now globally, especially here in the US, and knowing you could get the same education for free using like MIT OpenCourseWare and stuff like that. There's the credentialing and the giving of the degrees and stuff. So I'm kind of curious about that aspect of Neutron specifically, since it is a coin that has a purpose besides just being a crypto. So what do you guys have to say about the educational aspect of it?
Well, man, honestly, that's a huge conversation. How how do I even start with that? Anybody got to start for me on this? We're going to have to just, tell the truth and tell what we think and tell what we want to do. That's what we got to do.
Jason, you
Well,
got something?
we thought the same thing too when we started the education platform. We had the same ideas as what you just talked about. Education's so important, as well as there are devices out there that obviously are not in the crypto aspect, but as far as ways to educate yourself online. Unfortunately, though, in the crypto space, people really wasn't looking, as we found out, people really wasn't looking for this platform to go to. I mean, there are other companies that tried this as well, or I say companies, but other coins like BitDegree, and it hasn't really worked out for anybody. People in the crypto space pretty much just seem to want to focus on not so much usability. We all need usability, but they're more focused on crypto as a financial institute or a means to make finances, and really didn't, to be honest, didn't really get the wheels off the rolling on the education platform. We built the platform. We did a really good job on building that platform, but as far as community use and involvement, very little traction there.
Well, we're still at very early days for the whole crypto market, right? So I think that the fact that you guys are at least have an idea of what you want to do with Neutron already kind of sets it ahead of some of these other masternode coins that literally don't have an idea.
Well, I don't know, I agree with that. And honestly, the education platform, everybody kind of had their own idea about what it was. And it was one of our team members that came up with the entire idea. And I initially wanted that person to kind of head it up because it was such a big idea. I was like, well, I don't know how we're going to do that, Yeah. So we created the platform and we gave users the opportunity to create courses that they could put up. And then we figured if we put it out and, the backbone of it, we can build on it over time because Neutron's a long-term project. We're going to be here working on this for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
This is something we know this is what we're going to do. And we saw the education platform as being the same thing. So we put it out in a raw form. It says decentralized education platform, but currently on site, Neutron has no integration there yet. Now, we wanted to find a way to integrate Neutron into the whole thing, but we also wanted to build the community first. And we had hoped that there would be folks out there that wanted to contribute knowledge to such a database, where it could be not like a Wikipedia, but a place you could go to find out how to bootstrap a wallet or how to save your Bitcoin wallet private keys or how to execute a Ethereum smart contract or I'm sure you get the idea. But no one's wanting to write those classes. No one's doing those courses. And then we kind of thought, well, you know what? Well, maybe we shouldn't do it in a course format. Maybe we should do it in a way that it kind of lays stuff out like a forum, but where you can search through it and find exactly what you're looking for. And and then at first it was like, hey, you could, teachers could put up their classes and you could pay the teacher for the class. And then we realized that people weren't going to do that either. And then we were like, well, let's just do it for free. And then we realized that people still aren't doing anything. And, I would love to sit and write classes about mining. I would love to sit and make a database of all good mining pools, trustworthy hardware vendors. Everything you can think of, from usable services, the whole 9 yards, website database of things like Coin Wars, Coin Market Cap, and all the things that we all use that maybe someone new to the crypto space doesn't know about. However, I have to work a full-time job. Jason, we all work. None of us have the time to sit and develop all that content for everyone else. We wanted it to be community-driven. And it's just no one seems to have any interest. And it really seems, going back to what Jason said, that without some kind of monetary incentive like Steam It, which is interesting because I've heard even that's failing right now, no one's going to do anything. Now, just because there isn't a monetary incentive right now to create that content doesn't mean that you yourself, for example, I apologize for that, that you yourself, for example, couldn't create a trading class and develop your own reputation in the crypto world, you know, for the sake of just being a cool guy trying to teach other people how to do something useful. Instead of, you know, what I see when I look around, man, and it's almost, it bothers me, are a bunch of people saying silly stuff like "Wind Moon Wear Lambo" and other people passing around FUD and no one's really trying to help anybody. It's like, I don't know if you've ever been a gamer, man, but it's like running in a pickup group in World of Warcraft. It's everybody's EP is bigger than everybody else's, and I don't know, maybe I'm just looking in the wrong communities, but that's what I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any good vibes anywhere in crypto, man.
Well,
you got Chinese executives, you got people like Josh Garza from back in the day, if you remember that.
Anytime you've got a market that's in like huge retraction like this, the overall energy of everybody just goes down. There's a lot of negativity in general, and I think people are genuinely upset. A lot of people, when Bitcoin hit 20,000, they got excited. They FOMO in the market right at the top. So a lot of these people went and bought an entire Bitcoin and then immediately lost $14,000. So they're, of US dollars. Now, I see all that kind of market force stuff and everything. It is unfortunate that it's kind of hit all of the communities as far as attitude and the way people are acting and stuff like that. So and I definitely have seen that as well, and I agree with you. But I still see like a huge potential for a community-driven education platform. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm super excited about Neutron specifically. Like I said, I'm coming at it from the education standpoint. I am an IT guy first. I mean, I've always been building computers and stuff. But then having worked for the actual school districts for years, and I'm also a musician too, so I teach guitar and violin. And a lot of my students now aren't where I am, and I'm doing lessons on Skype and stuff like that. And if there's a really sweet, easy way to do all that with crypto, I mean, because right now the students that I have on Skype all want to Venmo me, and that's fine, that works. It's a thing that's there, but I'd much rather have it be a decentralized, crypto-based, trustless. You know what I mean? I'd much rather be teaching people in Russia and stuff.
That is a really huge endeavor, and what we found out, even if we try to take it one step at a time, which is essentially what we've done when we built the platform. Now, granted, Neutron is not integrated there yet, but we did have plans to do that. But it was something that was going to take time. It's not something that was going to happen overnight. I mean, you're talking about something that we would have to work on for years to come, and I have no problem with that. The only problem I do have with that is that no one seems to be interested.
Well, it's still early days, and especially when the market's in a downturn, everybody's going to have just a negative overall view. So I certainly sympathize with that. So all right, so let's knowing that it's
real quick.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, Jason, go ahead.
Well, I do have one thing to say about the whole decentralized market or applications. The thing about Bitcoin or Neutron coin or any of these coins, me having the ability to have a wallet and you have an ability to have a wallet, that's what makes it decentralized. So once you start having these sites where you're adding all kinds of payments systems on there, you are centralizing it at that point. So, you say, you're teaching online, the ability for your student to just send you a coin like Bitcoin or Neutron coin directly to you, that's without going through a service. That's what makes it decentralized. So that's what's hard to build a site and start centralizing payment services on there, because now you're getting away with what really decentralization is.
I completely agree, and that's one of the things that I'm excited about, the idea that you could have, say, an app rather than a centralized site, an app that both people have on their computers that instantly makes the video connection, charges per minute, an agreed amount that they've both agreed to or something like that. So, I mean, there's definitely ways forward on the technical end, but let's be real. You guys have all said it, and I know it as well, because I've been in this market now for, for almost 5-6 years now. That's crazy. but I mean, it's early days, right? So let's go back and talk more about Neutron on the blockchain and the masternode tech side of it. Because what I've noticed is I've been in the masternode space for a while. I've been following a lot of masternode projects. I've been helping clients set up masternodes. I've been doing educational. I've been masternode setup processes and trying to do video reviews of different masternode coins and stuff. And I've just been really interested in masternode specifically because I do think it's the future of crypto, and I think it's superior to what I call grandpa's coins, the other cryptos. What I've noticed about Neutron personally is that the wallet seems very robust. A lot of these other masternode wallets, sometimes they'll crash, especially if you've got like a Windows client one. They'll crash, they'll lose chain state. They'll get corrupted. You'll have to rebuild from scratch, do the bootstrap, and then re-import your private keys. I mean, and sometimes this happens on every update, and sometimes it just happens, randomly without an update for some of these masternode wallets. So you guys seem to be way ahead of the curve on some of the technology as far as the wallet and the actual blockchain goes. So talk to me about that a little bit.
We are in certain aspects, but in others, like currently right now, we still have an issue where people will randomly fork off and go off on their own, and we had to create a bootstrap for that very purpose. But we've gone through 6 or 7 wallet versions since I took over with our current developer or head of development, which is Aaron, and Thomas to assist him with me managing it. He's done a lot of work. Now, remember when we started in 2015, I told you that there was all the people cheating, masternodes weren't getting paid at all, and then I bought a bunch of coins, right?
Yeah.
Well, I knew that if I was paying masternodes, being the person that had the most in the entire world, that masternodes would start getting paid regardless of the cheaters.
Right.
So that's what I did. And then over time, I started looking for developers. So Thomas, I wish he was here. He would be able to talk about this more specifically. But we went through several iterations. Several sports were released. We did a hard fork at one point. We managed to pull our entire network with us, and we succeeded we got 58% of the hash power on our network, and we took it over again to kick all the cheaters off the chain. Well, we got the first round of cheaters off, and then we had other issues, which now it's been so long I can barely remember what they were because there were several. And we've fixed all that though, and now our last fork enforcement that we're going to turn it back on in version 2.06. Now, essentially, all the cheating and everything, all that stuff's been dealt with sporks. We have one final fork that we're going to enable that will hopefully end the forking that keeps happening. So what happens is when the wallets disagree, they kick the others off, and the others end up banding together and creating their own little side chain, if you will. They fork, they go off on their own chain. And that's because the main net says, no, we don't agree, and they get banned. And with the next final spork, that will not be able to happen anymore. The specifics of that are hard for me to explain, and that's why I wish Thomas were here, but that's the general gist of it.
Let's not get into the weeds too much. I think that's a great overview, so don't worry about that detail. I do have questions about what I have been impressed with, though, is the wallet software itself. Like I said, I've run a lot of different masternode wallets for a lot of different people. You guys have a really clean GUI. It works. You're not constantly forcing me to do updates for 10 different clients that I'm helping, and I don't have to have I don't have to rebootstrap every 5 minutes. That's been a real issue for some of these other masternode coins that maybe in the market with the volatility and speculation have done better in that way. Especially recently, but I'm interested in how you guys have made such a legitimate GUI wallet that's is it just the dev that you've got some good devs? It sounds like.
Well, Aaron, he's been doing a lot of the actual heavy lifting in terms of figuring out our issues and smoothing them out, taking useless pieces of code out that the original devs had messed up in the first place, cleaning it all up. He's really done a lot. You can see all that if you look at our GitHub, if you know what you're looking at. But if you look at the commits, and the regularity of the commits happening, you can see that our GitHub is very active, and Aaron does a really good job of that. Now, the dark theme GUI, if you have that running, and the staking report, which I really like a lot, which the only issue with the staking report is currently I run a 4K monitor and I can't stretch it out. So I have to copy and paste it in Notepad to read it. But aside from that, I really enjoy the staking report, and we're going to fix that too. That's just people aren't running a 4K monitor.
No, that's cosmetic anyway. That's a detail.
Right, and but Thomas did all that, and he unfortunately is unable to be with us today. But that's all Thomas's work.
One of the only criticisms I have, because like I said, I'm involved in a lot of different Masternode projects. One of the only criticisms I have is that I haven't seen any traction on any kind of Android wallet. Do you guys have that on your radar? Go ahead.
Let me explain that. I wouldn't want to do an Android wallet until we have the last spork enabled and have stopped the random forking that happens to some users some of the time.
You're putting the more important blockchain stuff ahead. That's totally reasonable. Totally get it. Cool. So
right, because you know what bootstrapping is like. Now imagine having to do that on your phone.
No, I've done it for other coins, and it's a nightmare. It's like trying to download this 400 megabyte file on somebody's like little Android tablet and then resync it, and then one of the things that I think is really sad, just as a Masternode fan in general, is how difficult it is to set up Masternodes. Every Masternode needs a static IP. You got to do this, you got to edit the config files. You got to get the private ID. You got to copy paste it. You got to turn it on.
That's something else we did. You could run 40 Masternodes on one computer if your computer could handle it. That's something else we did. We reduced it to where you could only have one, because we didn't want that security to all be centralized. We had to spread it out. Now, so there's a lot of stuff that we've done that many people just don't realize, And another thing I want to point out, that if you're into Masternode coins a lot, there are a lot of Masternode coins out there that have zero enforcement whatsoever, and most people don't even realize it, that you can cheat on those networks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
over 90% of them are that way. So that's one of the things that we focus on the most is our blockchain and obviously our wallet.
Well, and it shows. I mean,
it's so important.
It shows. I mean, your guys' blockchain, like I said, I've been in this space for a while, and one of the reasons I am a believer in Neutron is because you guys have been here for a while, and I've been dealing with Neutron for a while, and it just has been way more stable, way more solid, way more trustworthy than most of the other master projects that I'm doing. And I don't see you guys exit scamming. You've been here for a long time. I just don't see it. You guys are willing to come in on and have an interview, and I mean, you're pushing wallet updates. It's just, I really, it's a project that I personally, having eyes on the space, think has more potential than some of these other projects. What is your guys' top goal? Obviously, you got to handle the spork and some of that blockchain stuff. What is your guys' top goal, maybe outside of the blockchain specific stuff?
I'm going to leave that for anybody else if they'd like to speak. I feel like I'm hogging the floor.
Well, our goals, our top goals is obviously enforcement, our blockchain stability. But as far as being away from that, really our core purpose is to be, a digital piggy bank, and that's what sets us a little bit apart from some of these other coins that are trying to change the world or be the next, Bitcoin, which we all know Bitcoin is going to be on top. But we are here just basically to do exactly what we do. We're a staking coin. We're trying to take the power away from not the power, but the cost of typical mining with Bitmain or any of these other companies, which are very few, Bitmain the largest. Me and Anya, we've both been miners since 2012. We know the cost that it takes to get in. We know the electricity cost, which is, if you look at all the electrical being used on mining around the world, it's not very eco-friendly at all. And what we do with Neutron, we take a lot of that cost out there. If you compare owning 20,000 Neutron and staking versus what it would take you to go, purchase 10 S9 miners, the cost is a lot less to get into staking, as well as it's so much more efficient. And that's basically what we're trying to do.
That's what I like about masternodes in general, but it's because it seems like just in general the ROI is just a lot more stable. Anytime you buy mining hardware, it starts to depreciate immediately, and so it's really hard to run a spreadsheet and kind of know where the mining hardware is going to continue to pay for itself or not. And especially when you factor in electricity, and I mean, with a master node, it's very basic. You basically just say, hey, listen, we have a certain amount of coin, we're getting a certain ROI, and that's one of the things I like about master nodes in general. I love you guys are so focused on the infrastructure and the back end and actual real stuff that needs working on right now. What I did mention earlier that a lot of my students are trying to pay me on Venmo. One of the things that I've been really excited about from a different masternode coin perspective is I don't know if you guys have followed any of my videos, but obviously I'm pretty heavily involved in social send as well, and I love that they have a platform that's super easy to use where you can just send anybody you know on Twitter some social send. Have you guys considered?
Give me a minute, Boyd.
Have you guys considered getting onto the social send platform, or are you have you looked at that at all?
Actually, you're the first I've seen of it. Yeah, and you are the first I've seen of the social send platform, and I do like the name of it. It sounds like a vision I had of something similar to Discord, where people can have their community and their currency kind of all in the same place. But I haven't looked at it, no.
Okay. What about either of you guys? Have you been on social send or looked at that at all?
I really haven't been in social send. I'm registered in the server, but we're so busy with Neutron and our work that I really haven't.
As you guys should be. I just I know they're starting to add other coins to the platform now. I think they've got Electra and Linda,
Really?
and they've got like 3 or 4 different coins on the platform now. Ohm coin I think just got on there, and when they add the coins to the platform, if you've got 10 social send in a platform wallet, then as that coin gets added, there's an airdrop onto the platform, which I think is like the entrance fee for whatever project it is. Vitae is another one too. Have you guys followed Vitae at all? That has just been crazy.
No, man. Again, like we're all focused on, Neutron primarily and our personal lives. We all have jobs. We're all normal guys. We're not corporate execs with, time to spend doing that sort of thing. So we put our focus, on our project, and I've kind of just been in a holding pattern as far as the cryptos that I hold, and really so many come out all the time that I've just kind of stopped looking. It's just kind of silly.
That's me too. I'm completely burnt out on ICO. I do follow a lot of the masternodes because I was running the masternode news or whatever, but I don't like ICOs. I think any ICO is a scam. I'm not interested. I think I
agree with you.
I refuse.
I hate ICOs.
I refuse to deal with anything that has to do anything with KYC. As soon as I find out somebody's going KYC, I just abandon ship hard. So I'm kind of a crypto purist on some of this stuff, which is funny because I'm trying to run this news channel and interview like developers, and like half the time I'm like, I will never use your coin ever. But I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way about Neutron. I think you guys got a great platform going on.
I really haven't seen it successful.
Go ahead.
What was that, Jason?
I said I really haven't seen a successful ICO yet. It seems like they all just disappear.
They overpromise and underdeliver.
That's a very good point. In one of the ones that I find really interesting that I was following was Electronium. Electronium had a lot of flash. They had a big team. They were saying a lot of the right things at the beginning, and then they came out and did the ICO, and they drove enough interest and public media attention and everything else so that the price actually started making up. And if you were in the ICO, you made pretty good money. And then just I think a couple weeks ago or something, they just implemented hard KYC, like hard KYC, like you can't withdraw your coins without giving them your passport and stuff, and it's just like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I feel like the entire ICO space is an absolute scam. It's like the .com bubble of the '90s, you know?
And it's all of it is so much hype, man. I mean, I've like you, I've watched this stuff for years, and those ICOs, I remember seeing them back in the day, and I've never participated in one because you would see it spike up in the very beginning, and then immediately after it was released, you just watch it fall down.
Yeah.
You can see that on just by looking at the historical charts on those.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you guys?
so I've always stayed away from them.
And you know, I really appreciate that about you guys' project, that you guys are not about the hype. You guys are literally working on the grassroots, legitimate blockchain security, the stuff that absolutely needs to be worked on that most of these people don't even know about. However, as a social media guy who's running a YouTube channel and interviewing people and stuff, and who's somebody who like really believes in your project, I would love to see maybe a little bit more hype out of you guys. And you mentioned Discord a moment ago. Have you guys considered doing like a Discord rain bot or anything like that? Have you seen any of that?
I've seen that recently on Masternodes Pro in their Discord, and frankly, I wasn't aware of that you could do that. And Rick is the guy who has been dealing with the bots in our Discord.
Yeah, we already tried with the Thomas to make one, and it didn't work.
So you're playing with it already, though.
Yeah, we put it on the Discord, and then we made some coins, but we have a technical issue. Nobody can withdraw, so we have to work more on that.
Okay.
But it's on the plans.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I'd love to put you in touch with one of the bot managers that I know manages a bunch of different bots. He'd probably be a really good asset for you guys. So after the chat, I'll give you.
Yeah, that would be amazing, and that's exactly what we need. Is more. We need to expand via grassroots by talking to people like yourself and introduce us to other people that can help us along the way. I mean, you know, and when it comes to hype and marketing and all that, the other is I get hit up in my inbox all the time on Discord with all of these different, I hate to use the word shill, but I guess that has become the official term in crypto.
Yeah.
But I get hit with them all the time, and they're like, hey, I've got 12,000 followers on Twitter. I'll tweet stuff about you for 15 Ethereum.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, because that's me. Just want to promote our coin because you like it, and you build your reputation because you're doing something cool and talking about, or maybe talk about not so cool projects. Not. Have their community and their currency kind of all on the, and it's all of it is so much hype. There's other people that can help us along the way. I mean, you know, and when it comes to hype and